everyone, and welcome to episode 51 of the Town Social. I don't know why we're here tonight after that, but we're here. So, welcome to the group therapy session. There's a Town Social. My name's Nick Barlow. Joining me tonight, as always, Ian Kilroy and Gaz Kay, here to dissect a typical Huddersfield Town performance after such positivity of a last-minute winner against Millwall. I was Googling how to change my name by deep pull to Diakabe. It looked, after 45 minutes tonight, like it was a certain. At one point, Sheffield Wednesday were losing, we were winning. Life looked rosy, and it looked like we're actually going to get out of this. And then suddenly, the game changes. They get a really soft penalty. The only thing softer than that was the three pathetic goals we then conceded from 80 minutes onwards. I mean, lads, where do we start? I mean, any sort of shred of positivity and hope has pretty much evaporated. I kind of thought, I thought for weeks we're going to get relegated because we're so mentally fragile as a side. There's other teams that's scrapping results against your Leicesters. Wednesday tonight, coming back from 2 down. And you look at the performances we're putting in, not just tonight, but I mean, to me, it echoed the West Brom performance where we have a great half, but as soon as you concede, you can just see it's one-way traffic. The air's dropping, and that isn't the mentality to having a relegation battle. And I'm sorry, but the way it stands, I know it's pretty raw at the moment, straight after the game, but the way it stands, I can't see us going anywhere but down at this point. But enough of my positivity, Gaz. Over to you, mate. What were your thoughts?
You're looking at the wrong man if you want positivity. I'm saying to you, yesterday I'm thinking, well, if we can get some out of the game, and actually, although after we conceded the penalty, we floundered. I think I'm trying to think of the right word, floundered maybe. Actually we saw it out to 85 minutes at 1-1, and I thought, well, I'm with you. Let's just eke a point out here. And I know Andre can't win, right? Because when he's been accused of then trying to eke points out, people complain. He threw on, he took off Matos and chucked. Did he put Warden Jones on, who had an absolute nightmare, by the way, Pat Jones? I don't think he hit a Town player once. Actually, in fairness, he looked like he was going to go for it, but crumbled is probably underdoing it. I'm really frustrated because the first half was a perfect away performance. Ian and I were swapping messages, and I thought first half were brilliant. We weren't effective, but he left 3 high up the pitch. They didn't really know what to do with it. Preston couldn't cope with the fact we were pressing them high. They were playing 3 at the back, and every time the ball broke, they were 3-on-3. So they didn't really know what to do with it, and they created nothing. Preston in the first half, absolutely nothing. And then the softies to stop penalties. But I mean, what is Matos doing? What is he doing? His first touch is horrendous. And the bloke Matos all just said to him, "I'm going to fall over in a minute, so why don't you just stick your leg on me and we'll go down together?" Honestly, and the ref couldn't wait to give it, by the way. So, I remember the last time Nicol saved a penalty and all, by the way. Has he ever saved a penalty for us? So, yeah, like you say, it's still pretty raw. I'm somewhere between disappointed and annoyed because, I thought for long periods of the game we were going to get something out of it.
Yeah, look, I've just watched it on Sky Red Button, obviously, and so I don't think I have replays on there. So it's hard to break down too much into what went wrong and what goal and whatnot. But fuck me, I still don't understand how we're sat here and having lost 4-1. Like, it was a bit of a kind of smash bang wallop in the end, wasn't it? But that first half were good. They were really good. I'm a massive fan of this. When you're away from home, you like us, we can't really dominate possession. So you just have your fast 3 guys. And Brighton Writers, like you say, guys, he's left them up higher. And it were working. And it worked really well. I kind of thought it were a perfect first half performance. We did all the hard work there. And then that second half, just, oh my God, like what? Wiles has made a bollocks of the penalty decision. I don't know if it's a throw or whatever to Wiles in the middle. He chests it down and loses it to the Preston lad. So he's at fault for turnover over a possession there. I like Wiles. I'm a bit more of a fan than most people are of him, but he's made a massive error there. But then Matos has got a chance to get rid of it. He's inexperienced, and that probably showed in that moment. But He should have never got himself into a position there where he's touched the ball himself into the box and then taken the guy down for a penalty. I think you can argue it's off. People are arguing he got the ball first. But it shouldn't have got into the position where it should have been a penalty. It should never have got there. He had a chance to clear it out and he failed. And as soon as it happened, the entire game, just everyone lost their heads. And I'm sorry, but I also think Brighton Wright has done it a little bit here too, because what we're working in the first half with that pace up top, I think we were tiring. We went deep against Millwall on Saturday and won it at the end. But he suddenly changed from that fast front three. He chucked on, I say we went to a 4-4-2 more or less straight away and we never looked the same. Maybe it's just that fragility from mental aptitude in that we're back at 1-1 and we're before the game, we'd lost 22 points from leading positions. And now we're at 25 points from leading positions. And you could see it in all the players. Everyone just dropped, their heads dropped. And it were awful to see. It were awful to see. And then you're watching it and then you're looking at your phone and you're seeing goals going elsewhere. And minute by minute by minute, it got worse and worse and worse and worse. I don't think tonight could have gone much worse for Town by the end of the game. And it's so fucking frustrating because 50, would they score 54 minutes? Is that when they equalised? 53 minutes left. First 52 minutes of that game, we looked fucking good. We looked really good. Looked like we had it. Confidence were there. But it just shows you with this Town team, if things go against you a little bit, everything goes under. And tonight was a perfect example of what's happened and why, even after the last minute win against Millwall on Saturday, it's going to be a tough battle to stay above that dreaded dotted line to stay in the Championship. That was a tough watch in that second half. And the problem I have with it is as soon as that penalty went in, everyone knew what was going to happen after it. And when that second goal, you knew more were coming. You could sense it happening on the field and the fans just know it. And if we know it as fans, the players can feel it too. And it's going to be a hard ask to get back at it for Saturday.
Look, Preston and Bristol City, who we've got next. I hate it every time we go to those grounds because we very, very rarely do we get any result at either. I mean, when we lose at Preston, we tend to lose big as well. So I always had a bit of a worry about this game. But like you said, the first half was pretty much a perfect away performance, and it were great. It were a great goal from Karoma. It's a great little sort of turn and finish. It's a smart finish. And
what made me laughing, Nick, about that, Nick, what made me laughing about the goal was Bergson gets it down the right-hand side and all the fans are giving him so much shit about him not pulling it back, not pulling it. Oh, he were a yard out when he wasn't shooting. There were no way Bergson was taking that shot. He was trying to play it back and didn't work first time. And he had a second go. But he were a yard out and he's like, no, I'm not shooting. And he played it back. But Karoma had a lot to do. And that's why I'm a massive Karoma fan because in those positions in the box where you've got to be a little bit cooler, Radulovic did it the other day, to be fair. But Karoma's the guy you want on that ball, innit? He drops his shoulder, sells it, goes around the guy, cool finish. To me, that's one of the better goals of this season with the way we worked it in. It wasn't the most beautiful, I think, aesthetically, but if you look at the technical aspects of it, it was fucking good. But it all came from Bergson adapting his game because, 99 times out of 100 they expected him to smash it into the middle of nowhere, but it was just persistent on pull it back. I'm going to pull it back, and he did it. So it was nice to see that, Nick. You're right.
Karoma's one of them players where he can be anonymous for 85 minutes and then just produce something like that. And that's who we need, players like that. Bergzorg, similar. You need players that can just pull some out of nothing. And I thought it was a really well-worked goal. I thought it was a great finish. And like I say, it's just soul-destroying. The goal difference, we're now on minus 23, right? It wasn't great goal difference to begin with, but you look at Birmingham's minus 18, right? So that's 4 goals swing. Essentially on, but now that's massive. That could be massive at end of season. Who knows whether it will be, but just that switching off for those last 10 minutes could be absolutely catastrophic. And like Gaz says, look, we concede the penalty, but up to 75 minutes, the draw's still there. A point would have still been, I would argue, a decent result away at a decent Preston side who still have an outside chance of a playoff. So I don't think they'll get there. I don't think they're good enough, but they're still up there, and it would have been a good point away from home. But to just concede 3 sloppy goals like that, it's just absolutely criminal. And who knows whether that goal difference will play a part at the end, but we certainly don't make it bloody easy, do we?
No, and the first half, I think it showed that beyond the top 3 or 4 in the Championship, there's not a lot. There's not a lot between the teams in probably 5th or 6th, right down to 20th, 22nd place. we were more than competitive. Preston didn't really know what to do with it, but you're right. It's the mentality of the players, and I think, I said it a billion times, we must be the easiest team to pass the ball against. And I'm a big Brodie Spencer fan, but that guy absolutely pummeled Brodie on his second and third goal. He was quicker across the ground. He was stronger. He wanted it, and Brodie Spencer didn't. And that's what led to his, that guy's second goal and Preston's third, and his third and Preston's fourth. We've let a substitute score an hat-trick in 7 minutes against us. And let's be fair, the guy was he was effective, but let's be fair, he was pretty industrial, wasn't he? He wasn't. This isn't three worldy goals. This is three standard fair professional football strikes. So yeah, it's my big worry now is when they are as mentally fragile as they are, is what does he do to pick them up? Because you're right, we need to find at least a point, I think, away from home somewhere, and we had it tonight. And that would have then set our home games up. We win them 2 home games, we probably would have been safe. But now you're back on the back foot again. You've taken a tubbing. Goal difference has taken a hammering. Wednesday you've picked up a point. Millwall have picked up 3 points. Chances are Birmingham are playing Cardiff tomorrow. You can't see Cardiff putting up too much in the way of a massive defence, can you? So we could well be back at bottom 3 tomorrow night.
Oh, this is cheerful, isn't it? Last time we did this alive straight after a game, we took pelters. We took absolute pelters. But it's just these. The first half was okay, and there was moments there that were good. And like you say, I can't sit here and hypocrite being it. Well, I can't do it very often, but I can't tonight. In that we were playing fast. Nichols were getting out, smashing corners as quick as he can. We're trying to get us to play quickly. And away from home, there's a lot of times this season we haven't done it. Brighton Wright went out today to win the game. But I didn't think Preston were that great. I thought they struggled with us. They didn't really offer too much. But then to run away 4-1 winners at the end, I don't understand where the game flipped performance-wise and tactically. They didn't really change very much. It's just we seemed to get tired and stop tracking our men back. So every time they went forward, they just had men over and over and over. Dwayne Holmes at second half on right-hand side, he just kept, how much space did he have? Time and time and time again. And honestly, they were about a 40-minute spell in that first half where I forgot he were playing. Like he barely touched the ball. We had him under control. We were, okay, not creating an awful lot, but we were getting it up the right end of the pitch. The problem we have now is that Sheffield Wednesday play Stoke on Saturday, I think. We're away at Bristol City and we're equal on points. And if they take anything and we lose, as I think most people would expect, we might not, but I think that's on paper. We're going to be back in the relegation zone again. And again, the psychological damage of doing that and how hard you have to work to get out of it will be a factor too. Tonight was a prime potential opportunity there to take something and to build on it. Unfortunately, we've and I feel like we've thrown it away. I think that's what's frustrated me more. I can handle it, I suppose, when we get outplayed by a team much better than as Coventry came. And I never felt like they got out of first gear, second gear at most, and they could control that game and beat us comfortably. Even though we did have chances, I thought they just controlled it. But like that tonight, didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like that, and we've managed to get absolutely walloped at the end of the season where you shouldn't, and you need to keep tight. It is pretty catastrophic, isn't it? I don't think it's a nail in the coffin. I don't think it's something we're not going to be able to get back from. Tom Ellis says he turned it off after 3 goals to find out we conceded 4. I knew we were going live more or less straight afterwards, so I brought my tea back into the kitchen, and by the time I came back in, they were just picking out of the net for the 4th, Tom. So I'm with you on that. But it was just a very hard day at the office. Well, it didn't have to be. It felt like we made it hard for ourselves, and we've got to reset and get back at it on Saturday. But it is this point of the season, results elsewhere matter, and it just went against us again tonight.
I think just that day, I don't know. I think no one's a worse defender than Headley, but I would have played Headley tonight. Would have been my choice, knowing that they've got Robbie Brady playing down that side as a right. Robbie Brady doesn't want to go backwards, does he? And Jackson never really got over the halfway line. If you play Headley, he's going to push him all the way back. He's going to take him the other way a little bit. And our goal on Saturday came from Headley having an amazing run from the halfway line and winning a corner. So, I think I would have played Headley, and that's not hindsight.
I understand though, guys. I understand why he went with Jackson. I think defensively, on paper, he's a stronger defender. I don't think he offers as much going forward.
I think I agree, and I think the back four he played tonight, I think that's Brighton right as first choice back four. I think that's the four he'll play more often than not if he can.
But Jackson, when he's on the ball, he's pretty terrible going forward. He put a crossfield ball in about just after they'd scored to make it 1-1. He tried to put a crossfield ball to Sorba Thomas, I think. Fucking not even close to being okay. On the ball, he's not great. But again, we know we're not very strong at fullback. But I think Jackson's, well, it's Edwards, Headley, or Jackson, isn't it? As one of the fullbacks turns not ready to go yet. So that's what you're choosing from. So we can say he's not very good.
Boot Tom Edwards,
no one else. Boot Tom. Let's not get back onto booing.
Yeah.
We've been through that one, but it's just that's it though. Jackson, this is what we've got. We have players with such distinct limitations that we have to try and find a way around it. And the problem is, you have to be perfect. We have to be perfect for 90 minutes, and I'll swear by that until the end of this season. We aren't as good as other teams in this division. I don't care who says different to that. I don't think we are. I think we have to overperform or be at our best for an entire game because, like today shows, 7 minutes we switched off for 7 minutes. And we conceded 3 goals. So if anyone's going to try and pretend that we're good enough, other teams don't have that problem. We never go face somebody else. They switch off. Sheffield Wednesday may be at home. But they don't switch off for that 7 minutes and we manage to do this. We can't do that. But we have to be perfect to overcome the challenges we face with the squad that we have. And starting a wing back and you're choosing from either Edwards, Jackson or Headley tells you everything you need to do. And it's nothing against those lads. I think Headley and I think Jackson will be good enough in the future. Edwards doesn't really matter too much with him, but they're not kind of that bona fide fullback that we've got in Brodie Spencer. I know he had a bad few moments today, but he's still so far further forward in his progression of his career. He's a starting quality fullback, but we don't have it on the other side. And there's other positions. Wiles, I thought today I find it hard. I think his creativity is good. I can see when he gets passes wrong, I can see what he's trying to do, and I don't think anybody else even tries those passes. At least he's trying it, but it doesn't quite work. Because, again, he's not quite at this level just yet. He's not what we need there. But there's nobody else. If he's not playing, you've got, is it Tom Upenda and David Kasumu or Matos in the midfield? There's next to zero creativity coming out of there as well. So there's so many things we have to overcome. And I thought the system at first with the fast 3 guys at front was the right way to go about it. I wouldn't have changed it all. I thought when we brought in Ward and kind of shifted to that 4-4-2, it wouldn't go the way we wanted it to do. But it's easy me saying that now after we got absolutely stuffed at the end of it. But those 7 minutes just shows you if we're off the boil just for a few moments, the game's gone. And I don't think most teams in the Championship have that problem, but that's something we have to face week in and week out.
We should be pushing playoffs with this team, mate, according to some, shouldn't we? Warner, according to Warner, we should be right up there.
He's a shit stirrer.
The left back is our worst position for me by a mile. It's a real issue. As soon as Nakayama got injured, that's a major problem, major weakness, and which any analyst working for opposition will pick that out, won't they? And that's a problem. With still a midfield that can't pass a ball, and particularly when we get pressed quickly, it's almost like we panic and try and get rid of the ball, but then it just either goes out of play or goes to opposition, and it's very, very easy for sides, particularly sides who are quick in the press, to win the ball back from us. We just cannot keep the ball, and so we just and that's what happens. I mean, I've no problems with the team selection in that for the reason that in the first half we were brilliant, but it's just I don't know if it's a mental thing completely or whether it's a physical fatigue thing. But we just kind of, as soon as that second goal went in, it was like, oh well, that's it then. And I don't know whether it was a combination of mental and physical, but they just completely switched off, and it's frightening, isn't it? It's frightening. I mean, we're saying we're not a fit side, but well, if you can't get up for it in these games now, we've got 4 games to go. If we can't get up for it in these 4 games to try and save the season, when can we?
Yeah, and I thought actually, in fairness, in the Stoke and Millwall games, I thought we actually finished stronger than the other 2 teams. So yeah, they looked. I mean, once the second goal went in, it was 2-1. It was like they were running in sand. But I don't know if you guys are driving the comments, but Hannah's put a comment on asking, what do you make of the scenes at the end with Bergstorg and Taufab? Look, I wasn't there, as you can probably tell, because I'm at home. So I don't know. Have you guys heard out?
No, I'm the same. I was just going to raise that, Anna. Sorry, I don't know. I was watching it on my phone and then stormed off in a huff after I saw the fourth winning and grabbed a drink. So no, I've got to be honest. No, I didn't. I haven't seen or heard. If anybody has, or if you have, Ian, but if anyone else has, put it in the comments, because I mean there's been history of that anyway.
There's a video just appeared. I don't know what's up with him.
Well, talk us through it, guys. Talk us through like Goldbridge watching Man United. Go on. Talk us through what's happening.
He basically is like having a go at somebody in the crowd at the airport, giving him, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the thing is, you can imagine someone in the crowd said something they shouldn't, right? Passions are running high, but I don't mind players responding to that kind of stuff either.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't know exactly what he said, yeah. So I might have some custard, some on my face later on when it's turned out he said something really bad, but. You want a bit of passion. You want a bit of fire in there. They've got to have it because we're going to go again in 4 or 5 days. But it's just...
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Well, that's it. Nick's celebrating that he's not having to change his name at this point. Look at him. You can see a glint in his eye thinking, do you know what? We might be going down here. My name's sticking.
I take no pleasure from it, mate, because but this is the reason why I posted it. This is the reason why I think we're down, for this exact reason, mate, because we're just... If that's a Sheffield Wednesday... right, or a Millwall or a Birmingham, does that happen tonight? Do we, from winning 1-0 at half time, get 4 goals smashed against us if we're one of those sides? I don't think they do, and that's the difference.
Wednesday don't.
That's
not against that Preston team, not against Preston like they were today. They weren't great. They didn't even have to. They barely had to turn up to beat us in that second half. We really shot ourselves. The gaps were massive in midfield. We were easy to play against. Everything we did well in the first half with a high press and just pestering wasn't there. Everything just disappeared. And it was the first goal. It was from 1-0. It wasn't even from 2-1. As soon as that first penalty, it kind of felt like we thought we were unjustified. Like, why is it happening to us again? Why they get a penalty? Because obviously, I think a lot of people think it wasn't a penalty. But I think it was just that. It was just that. And they totally switched off. And I think we've got enough leaders in the team, though. It's not time to wave your white flag just yet. We've got enough leaders in this team with Hellick and the likes and Nichols, and we'll get them ready to go again. They're going to have to. But it's just when inside the games when it happens, it just seems we just fall apart. And it's been a problem we've had for ages. It's been Warnock kind of sorted it out, and it wasn't the case then. But we look soft. And the thing is that really I don't understand is that we can be fucking winning and this happens. We've, like I say, we're in the lead so many times this season and thrown that away. It's not even that we've had to chase ourselves back into games time and time again. We don't. We actually normally start pretty well and start better than the other team, get ahead, and then throw it away. And that's something I can't remember seeing in a town team forever. I don't ever remember us having that ability to be able to score first. But then we've had the opposite normally. With Wagner, we nick him 1-0 wins all the time, and Corbyn weren't too dissimilar either. It's about as opposite to that as you can get. It's like we go 1-0 up, and then it's when we fall apart. It's a tough night at the office, and with everybody else winning around us. Like we said before, I thought prior to the Millwall game we needed 2 wins and 2 draws to stay up. That's kind of what I thought would be okay. But then we beat Millwall, and that was fantastic. Absolutely, what a moment! But everyone else won as well. So we still needed those 2 wins, and now 1 game's gone by today where we haven't won. Sheffield Wednesday have picked a point up against. Wouldn't really expect them, especially when they go down 2-0. You're not expecting them to get there. The QPR and Plymouth end up drawing 1-1. Is that all? I think that's how that finished.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
To me, I'd rather QPR win that and keep Plymouth with us because I think your bottom lot's going to be Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday. Well, I think I'll have more than enough to stay up. To be fair, Birmingham, Plymouth, and us. I think they're the 5 in the mix, and I think everybody else might be sniffing around it, but should have more than enough to stay out of it. But tonight, Plymouth and Sheffield Wednesday picked up a point, and we picked up nothing.
I still think Blackburn get dragged into it. They play Wednesday, play Stoke, and then Blackburn. Wednesday win them 2 games, which they are more than capable of winning. They could be safe. Could Wednesday.
But Ian Matthew Man's made a good point there. That every time we're leading at half time, we concede immediately in the second half, and that drives me nuts. That does, because every person who's ever played football knows if you're winning at half time, the next 15 minutes when you go out, you sit. You don't press extra hard. You think, right, let's just ride this next 10, 15 minutes out, and then we'll see where the game kind of falls. Because after an hour in a football game, everything before it's irrelevant. Players get tired and dynamics change, and the game does shift at that moment. But that first 15 minutes, it's not like the first 15 minutes in the first half. It's just quite frantic. And if you're winning, most teams who are 1-0 up will try and just control that first 15 minutes. They kind of play a bit longer. Not necessarily time waste, but you just territorial kind of look at the pitch and, right, let's get out of trouble. Let's just let it settle down again, and then we'll twist. But we don't have that ability. We just go out in second half and go, right, 1-0, there you go, take that, let's go again. Because with West Brom, similar. I think the West Brom game was kind of, didn't end up as badly as it did today. But...
Yeah, we've had a few like that this year. We had a period where, didn't we, like, within 4 minutes of half time in 5 games, we were like 4 in or something. There was a terrible run where we really were terrible with that. But it is a mentality thing, clearly, isn't it? And James is making the point. The bloke at Preston kept talking about how fragile we looked, and actually, until they scored, I thought we looked perfectly fine. I thought we looked organised and disciplined, and I guess that's probably why there's so much angst amongst the town fans, certainly on social media tonight, and the voicing their anger and venting their frustration, because it does feel like a point dropped, at least, doesn't it?
It does from that. It's a cave-in, isn't it? It's not just a point drop, it's a complete capitulation. And it completely puts to bed any chance that we have of having a better goal difference than anyone around us. So that's essentially another equivalent of a point there.
Yeah. Which means the point would have been even more valuable, ironically, isn't it? That's the irony with it.
Yeah. I just go back to, I just don't see any other side at this stage in the season. Yes, I know. I mean, Wednesday had a shocker at the start of the season, but now in its crunch time, when you need results, I cannot see any other side doing what we've done tonight, and that's why I hope they prove us right. I hope they go out and smash Bristol City, and I think we'll need at least a draw and a couple of wins to stay up, and that might not even be enough.
I think we need 7 points, Nick. I think you're right. I think we need 7 points, and I think even if we somehow manage to magic yet another Houdini act and get out of this, well, we're all pretty frustrated after watching what we've watched. But it's not beyond. As we sit here right now, it's still in our hands. Might not be after tomorrow night, but right now it's still in our hands to dictate our own future. So it's not completely impossible. But whatever happens, we need a massive clear out. That those players are toast. Whether they actually have the ability to play in the Championship, and some of them probably will go on and play in the Championship for other teams, isn't the question for me. But I think some of them are just done. I think they're just burnt in terms of their Huddersfield Town careers and what they're able to deliver for our club. I think they're done. I don't think they can give us any more. And some of that is mentality, and some of that is they're just not good enough.
You both reckon? Oh, sorry, Nick. You both reckon we need 7 points now. We need 7 points to stay up. Is that what we're reckoning? Right.
Minimum.
Okay.
Minimum.
I think there's only 4 games left we've got. If you say we need to take 7 points, you're expecting us to win both home games. I'm guessing.
100%.
So we need to pick up a point then from either Bristol City or Ipswich away from home. Does this mean, guys, if we fail to take a point,
7 out of 9.
Okay, so if we fail to take a point this weekend, you're looking at it a lot differently than you are tonight.
Yeah.
So how would you go about it then? What you're looking at on Saturday? You're looking at the same system. For me, I thought first half tonight was bang on.
Yeah.
You can argue Jackson Headley. I understand that argument. And to be fair, I think Jackson probably will get pulled and be swapped for Bristol. But I thought the rest of it was okay. It was good. It's just maybe we change the entire setup at half time. Maybe that's the approach to go with. But I think he got it right from the start, and I'm still hopeful that we could get something on Saturday at Bristol City. Just because of today, I can't say, we're going to throw every game away like that. We won't. That doesn't happen. And there was a blueprint there for a good away performance. But it's got to just be better than that for longer than it was today.
Now look at this. The other thing, by the way, 20. Just sorry, guys, just to say, I'm just putting.
No, go on, Nick. You're right. Sorry, mate.
But 22 points plus this drop from winning positions this season. I mean, that's a story of our season, isn't it? And I
think that's why these players are toast, Nick. That's why I think these players are toast. I think they'll never recover from. They'll never be strong enough. They need. I think we just need a full wholesale change of that playing squad, and I'm going to be cheap.
Is this a legacy from Warnock? Because there's always talk that they weren't the fittest. You know, are we seeing? There seems to be issues with fitness in the squad. You know, are we? Are we starting to see that
I just can't
legacy
accept that. I
unfold, or do you
honestly.
think?
Oh, Nick, I can't accept it. Every professional footballer, every professional athlete is fit enough. The way we throw games around it, it's not just fitness. It's not. It's mental. It has to be mental fitness. I think physically, well, Millwall, we kept going till the end and won that game. We kept going and going and going and going and won the game. But then today just dropped off, didn't it? We don't have a big enough squad, I reckon, then to swap that midfield engine and the defenders, so they are getting tired as the season goes on. But I don't think it's just aerobic fitness. I don't think it's that. Even though, yeah, one, because he's been gone for how long now? What, 6 months? Has he been gone for 5 months? 6 months? You'd expect to be able to get back into shape, considering pre-season's only 6 weeks. You'd expect to be able to get back into shape by now. But it's mental. It's mental problems, like Gaza said. It's these players that have been in the system over and over and over again. We've lost like this over and over and over again, and it takes a toll. Football works like you can have a player that doesn't perform in the championship, go to another championship club and look like a world beater, because there's so many different things that affect how a player performs. It can be the system that he's playing in, the manager that he has, how his home life is. There's different moments that can affect it. And like Gaz said, the players we have at the moment, they just have this massive inability to carry on going if things are thrown at them that they're not wanting to deal with. But that's something we've got to look at in the summer, because we've still got 4 games before we get there. And what division we're in next year will be dictated by how these next 4 games go. But there's definitely things that have to be shifted. But it's just too late now. We just have to kind of get through. And we were close today to getting it right, yet we still threw it away. But
I was just thinking about what you're saying there, and you know, playing a bit of devil's advocate. You know, there's 2 teams in every match, and although I dismissed Preston saying, "Oh, they're not going to reach the playoffs," actually, you know, their players had all the incentive they needed, and their incentive was as strong as ours, which was if they didn't win tonight, their playoff dream was over. So, you know, perhaps you have to credit their manager for the changes he made at half time as well, and you know, whatever he did to drive that team on. And interestingly, I was just looking at Bristol City while we're talking. You know, they will have a massive say because Bristol City play us, Norwich, don't really affect us. Rotherham, they're already gone, and then last game of the season, Stoke. You know, so and they really are bang middle of the table, and they're like, you know, and their last. Where's it? Where I clicked off the wrong thing. You know, they drew 0-0 with Sunderland Saturday, beat Plymouth 1-0 before that, Leicester 1-0 before that, lost 2-0, lost 1-0. So they're definitely. I'm hoping they're going to have the flip flops on Saturday, and we can try and take advantage of that.
I'm loving the flow of positivity in these comments, guys. I don't disagree with any of them. That's the thing that it's. If anyone was at the game, by the way, on the way back, I'd be interested to know what it was like in the stands. The atmosphere, was the anger, was the acceptance, was the resignation to relegation, was, you know, what was it like in there? Because
well, one thing you can hear very clearly on the on Sky tonight. The fans when we were winning were fantastic. So there's no way the club can come out afterwards and say this capitulation was because the fans didn't back them, because they were loud. They were chanting all the way through the game. And considering how shy we've been for so long, not all clubs get what town fans give. We're a good set. We're actually quite a patient set of fans, and we're a very loud set of fans, and we travel in decent numbers. I think the club should be actually pretty appreciative of how well we travel, because today it was very loud on the TV.
We're always good away from home. I think we're always good. We've always got a good voice, and considering the dross that's been served up for the last God knows how many seasons, to still turn out in numbers and, you know, get right behind the team is brilliant. And yeah, you're right. Not every team has that, and I think, you know, it sounds like there's frustration bowled over at the end there with Bergzog, but that's what happens when you've just conceded 3 goals in 10 minutes at the end of the game, in a game that really we needed to get something from. And I don't know. I mean, where do we go from here, guys? We go to Bristol, and I mean, we really, realistically, I don't. We said 7 points. I don't think we'll get anything from that game, but we really need at least a draw, don't we? Let's be honest. Do you think if we don't get anything there, we're down? Or
I don't think we're down, but I think it's going to make it really difficult. Talk about Millwall being must win, then Birmingham and Swansea become must win. I don't know how can you be more important than a must win? I think we've got to take Summit ideally, because I think that gives us the chance. We really don't want to have to go to Ipswich last day getting anything. I just cannot see us taking anything from Ipswich. I just can't. So
the only thing we'll get at Ipswich is a pasting. There's no way we're going to get anything, especially if Ipswich need anything from that game, they'll just wipe the floor with us. They're way too good for us. And I know that sounds really pathetic, defeatist attitude, but I'm just seeing it for what it is. And looking at the two teams and what's been served tonight, if we get tonked 4-1 away at Preston, what's it going to be at Ipswich if they have to win to go top 2? So, Rob says disbelief in the stands as to how bad and weak we were in the second half. Never a second ball won. Yeah, I didn't think we were too bad until that penalty, and it all hinged on that, didn't it? It all turned after that.
Can I just say, it was a fucking soft penalty as well. I mean, it was as soft as we never get them. Never. It was the softest penalty I think I've seen in a long time. And to be honest, from behind the goal, it looks like Matos gets his foot on the ball, by the way, I might add. I thought the ref was really good in the first half and actually quite poor in the second half. But you've got to be stronger than that.
It's very soft, but there's content. He's never not given it, is it? I mean, if it had been other end, then I don't think he would have given it, because we don't get penalties like that, do we? We never seem to anyway. Not that we're ever in the bloody box in the first place. That's why we never get any penalties. But I think at home, the refereeing standard in the Championship's never that great, to be honest. Anyway, is it? So and decisions like that, they always seem to favour the home team. He's given him a decision to make, and like you say, he couldn't wait to give it, could he? But we were still drawing the game. We could have still got a point. There's no excuse for just switching off like that at the end and letting the Reds drop. And even at 2-1 down, there's still a chance to nick something at the end, get a point. But to just throw it away like that is terrible. Oh, guys, I'm trying to think of something, some shred of positivity that can bring to it to cling to going into the next game. But I guess that first half performance, we've got to kind of hold on to. And like Ian says, do you set up the same? Do you go with the same team on Saturday and just try and counter attack, long balls, try and get in behind? I mean, a bit of a funny side, Bristol City. Like, I mean, they're going to have most of the ball out there. So do we just try and play on the counter attack and try and nick something? We've got to go for it. We can't just sit back and defend, because we're not good enough to do that. We're not good enough just to put everyone behind the ball and defend for 90 minutes. We'll concede. So why not go have a go? Get a win there. Suddenly the whole picture changes again. But I think we've got to win both those home games afterwards and at least get a point down there. Yeah. Otherwise, it's curtains, fortunately.
Well, they play 4-4-2. So, I think 4-2-3-1 would be the best formation, wouldn't it? That means you can pack the midfield when you have to, and as you say, we get them fast men up top and away when we need to do. But it's going to be a tough call. I'm glad I am to make the decision on who plays after watching that second half.
Do you think Brighton Wrighter comes in for any criticism with this, or do you think he's essentially inherited a squad that's just nowhere near good enough and is? I guess it's difficult, isn't it? Because some aspects of the game I really like what he brings, but others, there's some questionable decisions still for me in game and reaction to certain situations, which make me think, could we have maybe done things a little bit differently to eke out a point? I'm not sure.
Hey, I just need to pick up on this. Sam's throwing in some shade here. He said, if you fellas were there, we might have won. Another 3 voices that wouldn't have gone amiss. Now, I'll just mention my wife is 40 weeks pregnant, right? And I actually played football tonight. I had a full game and it finished at 8 o'clock and I managed to get back. So I missed first 15 minutes, right? But my commitment to at least one team's still there. And I didn't fold after 6 minutes. We cracked on and we snuck out a 2-1 win against the wind, playing uphill second half, right? And my missus was still not very happy with that, right? So at least I'm here. She's upset in the other room because I should be in there, but I'm here doing this, talking shite to all those lot, criticising another town defeat. I just feel like that were a bit unfair to chuck that in, Sam. Normally I would have been there. We were there. We've been there to a few midweek games this year, aren't we, guys? We've been there. And are you off to Ipswich? You normally do Ipswich, don't you, guys?
Well, yeah, and obviously my son lives in Ipswich, so he'll be praying for some miracle that we don't get a pumping because he's already had Ipswich fans asking if we can get him a ticket for our end. So the answer is no, clearly. But yeah, I need to be honest, Sam. Anyway, I do not but boo. So it's just what I want there anyway.
Listen, I try and get to games where I can, but I'm the I guess I'm the fair weather fan that doesn't. I try, but listen, I've been in London all day today. I've only just got back for this. My missus is like, "Come on, come to bed, Nick." Now I'm like, "No, love, no. I want to stay on here talking about town. We've just been thumped 4-1, so."
It's all right, he's backing down. Sam's backing down. Sam's good lads.
Yeah.
I'll have a laugh after that pile of wank. It's all right, Sam. We accept your apology, and we'll come looking for us at Stadium on Saturday in Bristol. We'll shit out if you see us. So leave it on, man. But no, I think again. Sorry, guys.
No, you're right. Go on.
Just that first half today, that's how we've got to play against Bristol. And hopefully you're 2-0 up and you can kind of defend it in the second half. And Martins doesn't touch the ball into his own box and give away a stupid penalty. Regardless of how soft it was, it shouldn't have happened. And on another day, that's different. But these moments over the course of the season is going against us over and over and over and over again. And the problem is when that happens, the result is relegation normally. And we're up against it. The more I see things like that happen, not just results, but in games, things like that, and it just turns the entire game on its head in a moment is a very, very bad sign. And yeah, we'll be on there cheering away. Town fans were there with the voice fully, and everyone is behind the team. But still, in those moments, it's the players that have to stand up and be counted. And unfortunately, they've not done it again tonight.
Just got to hope they find it from somewhere, haven't we? That's all we can do now is hope they find it from within them to somehow dig us 3 results in a row out. We need to do what we did against Stoke, take a point at Bristol City. We need to win against Swansea at home like we did against Millwall. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility. And then it's a winner takes all with Birmingham even, possibly. So Bergzorg not playing Saturday. Maybe. I mean, he seems to he likes Ward for cameos, doesn't he? And he's telling us that Healy's not fit to play a full game. So it's probably a straight shootout between him and Radulovic. So maybe he'll go Radulovic against Bristol City. But who knows? What do you two think?
Nah, he'll play with. I think he'll go with Bergzorg again after Bergzorg's performance against Coventry when he was offside 1,000 million times or whatever in 25 minutes, and he shouldn't have been seen again. After that, I thought if you're gonna take, because new managers come in and they like to find somebody to kind of point the finger at, don't they, and blame and say that's why we're where we're at. Attitudes like that. And Bergzorg was awful against Coventry, but then he's getting. What he brings to the team is the Van La Parras. He's got that unpredictability that drives you upfield. And to be fair, I had Preston commentary on a bit as well, and they kept talking about how hard it is to defend Bergzorg because he's got something. Other teams worry when he gets the ball. I worry when he gets the ball, to be fair, as well, because he doesn't really know what he's going to do. But he has that air of unpredictability that just helps us in attack. And we're not blessed with players that can do that. I think Healy's the best number 9 we have at the club. And if he's fit, to me, he starts every single game because, again, when he gets the chance, as we've seen, he puts it away. Bergzorg doesn't do that, but then he creates chances in other ways. I'd be starting Bergzorg because I don't think Healy's going to be starting till the end of the season, is he, by the sound of it? I think it's more important for Brighton Writer to have him in for the last 25, 30 minutes to try and sneak a goal if we can get one, and that's what he kind of favours with him. That's not Danny Ward and that's not Radulovic, but Healy can kind of do that. So to me, if you're starting your one striker and you're away from home, I'd go my fast 3, like I said before, Karoma, Thomas and Bergzorg, and look to bring on Healy later on if that's all he can do. So for me, I'd have him in. Will he? I think he will, to be fair.
I think he will. Against quite a tough Bristol City defence, I think Bergzorg's probably the better option than Radulovic, although I think it does still have a part to play Radulovic this season, but I think away from home against a defence like that, I think Bergzorg with his pace and look, he's our second top goal scorer. He does score goals. He set one up tonight, didn't he? So it's not like he wasn't awful tonight, but he's just unpredictable, isn't it? But that's why he's at Town and not Bayern Munich, because he's not perfect and he makes mistakes, but he can come up with the odd moment of magic, which is what we really need. So I think it'll be pretty similar team, to be honest. I don't see any wholesale changes if I'm being honest. I just hope that it's a better result because bloody hell, we need it. Guys, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else you want to discuss? I mean, we've done 45 minutes there of absolute misery. I think
Ian needs a shower. Ian's in Shepley, and I'm in Waterloo, and I can smell him. He needs a shower.
Oh, Dad just wants my legs on show again, right? Just to prove that I've played football this evening, and actually still put it in.
Your fans all your legs.
Mate,
Look how filthy I am.
He's gone running out into garden and sat down. That's all you've done, mate.
Still put more yards on Eatmac than Town did.
When Karoma scored, straight to front guard, knee slide.
Hey, do you mind? We were playing against Newsham today, and they just swore. Honestly, I brought Thea, my daughter. She's only 10, and she came to watch. And she came home and she started asking Lucy, my wife, what certain words meant because she never heard them before. Oh, don't ask her these questions. It was just a typical district league.
It's all part of the development. Yeah, all part of the development. That is.
Yeah, but obviously I play for Grange Moor, and we're a team run by Mormons, so none of the boys swear on my lot. So in summer we're great. We play beautiful football. Then it gets to winter and it's muddy, and you're playing against players from areas that might be reputation of a little bit more thuggy than we are. And basically just kick the shit out of us for 90 minutes, calling us all sorts, and our boy just say, thank you, noise, thank you. And Thea had to listen to all that today. So I don't think she'll be coming to watch us on Saturday when we play Deaton.
Let's hope there's nobody from Newsham or Deaton listening.
It's all right. They'll probably give us some abuse as well, to be fair. We deserve it.
They're going to pick you out now. Going to pick you out. Sorry, Nick, we're just having a private conversation. Sorry about that.
All right. Aiden says, thoughts on Huddersfield Town fan being a referee for Birmingham Cardiff. I don't think it'll make any difference. I think Birmingham will win. Is my honest assessment. I don't think it'll make a blind bit of difference. But, what do you guys think?
Yeah. Same.
It depends. If he's going to ref it like, again, when you've got your own ref at amateur level, he never gives you anything. They always give the other team everything. Like, they overcommit to make it appear fairer. So it'll probably give Birmingham every beneficial decision going. I don't understand how it's got through, though. It's a bit dodgy, in it, that somebody who's known to be a Town fan is reffing that game, isn't it? Is he definitely a Town fan? Is it? I'm saying that. Is he definitely openly a Town fan? Is he?
I believe so.
I think so, didn't he?
If that is the case, it does seem a bit strange to me. But
John Moss still refereed playoff final, and he's a massive Leeds fan.
Maybe that's what favour we get, but we've still got to get a few points probably to catch Birmingham up by the end of the season anyway. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Right then, guys. So very, very quickly to round off, let's end on more misery. What's the predictions then for Bristol? Very, very quickly.
I'm going 0-0. I fancy a 0-0.
0-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go 1-1. I think we normally score. We normally score and we'll definitely concede. I'll go 1-1. And maybe that's more through hope than expectation. Because like you say, guys, they're going into those 2 home games in a row after that, needing to win both of them, will be a lot of pressure. Not only on players, but the atmosphere in the stadium is going to be pretty different too. So let's hope we can get 1-1. Yeah. And not some breathing space, but just something to cling on to.
My heart says a 2-1 Town win. Sneaky Town win away. My head says 3-1 Bristol. Let's hope it's the heart that. And we'll wait to hear from another diary from Kev as well. Hopefully.
Yeah.
We only seem to release them when we get results, but we'll see. I was going to say we'll see what we'll see if he's.
That's how you do it. I went to Australia and I can't do American. Yeah, bursting into the locker room, telling that's how you fucking do it.
Yeah, we'll be laying into them this time, but right, lads. Thank you very much, guys. As always, thank you everyone for listening and for getting all your comments in. We'll end on Stephen's positive prediction, 3-1 defeat, Naki brace, just to sum up the positivity of this episode. But yeah, thank you as always for getting your comments in and your questions. Really appreciate it, guys. And hopefully next time we're on, we'll have something more positive and upbeat to talk about. Hopefully, a result at Bristol. So take care, everyone, and see you soon. Bye bye for now.